since I started manifesting my SP, I've met across a lot of people who look either similar to my SP, which is like it's a recent thing. It was not so much of a recent thing for the last 2 years, but like for some months, ever since this marriage movement of wanting to be married with my SP in the 3D became urgent. I think I became urgent because, like, I'm saying this because situationally things were like that, so I needed him to stand for the things, which is, anyway, I'm not going to talk about like what happened and what not happened, because we don't see what in 3D is happening. We just know that it is done. So that is the reason I would not be talking about anything which has happened, but I would be saying that ever since like since the last few months I've been seeing people who look like him. So today what happened is I had almost like I had a very hectic day. So, and I just didn't have time for myself, and I grew up very irritated because like there were some changes in the team, and there were some changes in structure. So a lot of things were happening, so which is why like it was too, I do not like changes, and I really do not like changes, because like I've seen so many changes in my life since my childhood, that I do not like changes, and I would want to make an affirmation. 1 minute. So as a result of which I do not like changes. So it's not really like my team has changed, but that something which I was closely worked with, that changed, and like I've already been through a lot of changes in my previous org structure. Is I do not know like why I'm so uncomfortable with those changes, but maybe it feels like I have to reorganize parts of myself to fit into the environment, because if I don't, then it creates a very big problem. So the thing is, so today was a very irritating day. So like there almost like a woman started talking for almost like 3 hours in a meeting, and she wouldn't stop. In fact, I didn't even have the time to go to the washroom. It was this hectic. I mean, if you have done a project management job, it does become hectic. So I don't know, like all of a sudden the work pressure has just increased, and you just have to tide with the wave. Nothing else can be done. So that's the thing. So I'm going through a lot of things in my organization front. Like I've been going through a lot of things since March or February, I can say that, and things have become better, but it's like it's still settling. And so in fact, I was going to say that I want to make now an affirmation track on things are stable and constant in my world, and my SP is one of them, or my work is one of them, and or whatever it is. So so it's just like I'm sharing my thoughts here. Some people like changes because they get a lot of different things to blend with, but I feel like after a certain point of time, you do not like changes anymore. You just want to be specialized in something, in that particular part. So I don't know, like I felt everything is good, and then all of a sudden something changed, some new role came up, and then it automatically got changed. And I know that things keep on changing in an organizational point of view, but then sometimes it's just hard to fit in. But I just believe in this one affirmation that everything works out for me. So maybe this movement has happened. It's not a big movement, but it's like it is sort of a small major movement, that this setup has changed again, and I have to adapt again to it. But everything works out for me, and in the end, what I want will happen. So that's all I believe in. But okay, so my roommate is my belongs to my SP state. So as I said that I've met a lot of people who are from my SP state recently in 1.5 years or 2 years, I can say that, because that was the time when I started manifesting marriage with my SP. And I think like life puts me into such situations wherein I get to know more about his culture, more about how things work in a uh, in a south specific country aspect, because there are certain things, for example, I've seen that since I'm from the western part of the country, I've generally gelled up with people who talk very less, but they feel more. But when it comes to inviting people, giving sharing food or something like that, that wasn't there. It was like they were on their own world and we were in our own world. So that's how I was brought up. And sometimes like I was misinterpreted by people that I am very self-centered. It's not like I was self-centered, it's just that I came from a different culture and I didn't know that I had to mirror that culture. So now working with so many teams and projects, and I see different kind of people different ways. Now I've seen that people from the south of my country, they're very warm. So the current state I live in, they are a bit reserved, but then mostly the south part of our country is very warm, and I have learned a lot from them. It's like they would be sharing food, they would be very warm to each other, something which in the eastern part of my country, in my native state, is something, many things are very much similar to both of my culture and my SP's culture, and also not just my SP's culture but the south part of the country. So a lot of things are similar between us. And but one thing which I have learned is, so today, like my roommate, who is also from my SP state, not exactly the same town, but they share the same language actually. So I've learned a lot of my SP's language through my roommate, because she keeps on speaking, and I pick things up. And I always wanted to learn his language actually, because I wanted to make things easy for my mother-in-law, because she's so sweet. And I don't know, like I have always had this thing that I would be marrying a person who is not from my language, and I would be learning his language, and he would be learning my language. Obviously that happens eventually, because like I've seen my uncle and auntie who were like, so my uncle was a Bengali and my auntie was a Tamil, and they got married and they learned each other's language. So my auntie can learn and my auntie knows very good Bengali. Like her accent also has improved with years, so I've seen that. So I like that kind of thing. I like that kind of blended culture. So I wanted to learn his language, because it's a part of my love language, that I learn everything which is related to you, and you learn everything which is related to me. That I mean, I don't want to force him. If it comes naturally, then it's good, otherwise also it's fine. But obviously that's a kind of expectation, but like I do not want to tell him in face when we get together. So sorry, we are already together, but in the 5D, but in the 3D, when we come together, I do not want to I want to see like if he learns it or not. So that's the thing. And so today my roommate's mother came, and she prepared very very cute dishes of their own culture, and she shared it with me, and a lot of things, because my roommate is from my SP state. I've seen how she prepares certain dals and certain things, and I also know how to make it, because like it sometimes it happens, like for example, if you go in Italy and you start eating Italian foods, you would love the taste so much that you do not want to come back to the main way how you used to eat it. Suppose like you eat some bread kind of thing in India, and then you go and eat the same kind of things, for example in Italy. So you like that Italian food so much, you do not want to come back to the original way of eating bread which you were in India. So this is not like, I'm not trying to demean anything, but it's just that I like their way of preparing dal so much that I could not come back to how I used to prepare originally. So that's the thing. And I learned a lot of things, and I feel like it is actually preparing me for the time when I would come, I would be married to my SP in the 3D as well, and I would eventually know, because what happens is that when I was a kid, I never used to prepare my food. I never used to do anything. Like even lifting one object from one place to another, it would be very difficult for my mother to make me do it, because I was so pampered and lazy. I was not lazy, to be honest, but I was very much pampered enough to not even understand that I need to help people in doing household chores. So I was that pampered. But eventually, like, I started learning it. Sometimes my mom used to scold me, and like when I was a child, she used to scold me. Would you do this to your? Would you do this with your in-laws? Would you not help them? And I'm like, why are you telling this, ma? I used to talk this way. So that was, if you're a pampered kid, you would relate to what I'm saying. So eventually, like, I grew up and I started learning new things, and ever since I moved out of my home, I learned a lot of life skills which I never had any scope, because I was like very protected in one setup, and I was like, I had limited experience, due to which like I also was very immature. But here now I feel like I see different kind of perspectives which was missing at that point of time, when I was like maybe just graduated or post graduated. Yeah, because I spent almost like 7-8 years only on education. This is my first job where I'm working in. So that's where you learn different things. So my message in this video is that as I said in my previous videos, that you need to mirror different cultures. Also, there is a subconscious message which I feel, that when you want something, life puts you into different preparation phase. So for example, you want that job in maybe World Bank. So you might not get directly the job in a World Bank, but you might get a very big job in very huge opportunity in Bank of Scotland or Bank of Ireland, or something very big which is not World Bank, but it is also a very huge experience, or Bank of America. So it could be anything. So all these kinds of experience which are happening, including my roommate's mother coming here and preparing things and feeding us, giving us that warmth which we usually get in our home. So all these kinds of things is actually preparing me for what I am manifesting, and what I know that in my 5D it's already done, because I when I sleep I think about my SP. When I eat I think about, like, I don't know, and sometimes when I'm working, all of a sudden I feel like he's thinking about me, or he's staring me from somewhere, or I don't know, maybe when the moment I feel all these kinds of things, he's actually thinking about me, because that's what I've heard. So somewhere in some video of some coach in the YouTube I had heard, I'm not sure, or I think now I remember it, but I do not want to name her. So she was saying that she was manifesting her boyfriend back, and her boyfriend was actually playing basketball or something like that somewhere, and he was actually busy playing basketball. But what happened is, like, all of a sudden he used to get glimpses of his girlfriend, and they were at that point of time not in a relationship, like there was some misunderstanding or problems which was there. So they were not together in the 3D, but this woman was manifesting him back in his life, in her life, as boyfriend. And a lot of like triggering things had happened between them. So at that point of time, when he was playing basketball, or I do not know what he was actually playing, most probably it was basketball. And that's where he said that he used to get glimpses of his girlfriend all of a sudden when he was actually playing stuff. So I sometimes at work and I get glimpses of my person, and I feel like, okay, he's thinking about me. So that's where you feel like the soul connect. And also one more thing which I wanted to share. So one of the things which I was I was having a phone call yesterday with one of my very very old friends. So since he was talking about his girlfriend and like his soulmate actually, and so he shared a lot of things to me, and we have grown up together, so we share a lot of things since childhood. So we have a good friendship. So that's where like he shares all these kinds of things about and I just told him this one thing, when you meet your soulmate, you'll come to know he's your soulmate. She is your soulmate, sorry, he's a male person. So he said, yeah, I know that. I said that so when I met my SP, like initially I could not understand, because like obviously you don't know the person well, etc etc, but with time, when things deepen, you get to understand, okay, this is my person. And I knew from then that it was my person. It like I don't know if he realized it yet, but yes, I know that he loves me a lot. So maybe he has realized, and maybe he has not confessed that to me, but he also feels that I am his soulmate. And there are a lot of things which feels like, sometimes I feel like when I'm sleeping and all of a sudden my sleep wakes up, and I still remember that whenever he used to message me, I used to sleep, and all of a sudden that his message would wake me up. Not in like, it would not come in the, like I usually switch off my net when I sleep, so I do not know if I get a notification if somebody messages me in sleep. But all of a sudden my sleep used to be interrupted on its own, and I used to be like, why did my sleep get interrupted? I tried to sleep myself back, put myself back to sleep, but then it would not come. And then I would switch on the internet and I would see that his message had come. And this thing happened almost like 2-3 times. Now also I feel like, when in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping and all of a sudden something wakes me up, it's actually him thinking about me, or he needing me, or something like that. So I feel that this is a soul connect. And and honestly, I never had this deep connection with anyone before him. Like anybody who I used to have romantic connections with, I never had this deep. They might be good friendships, they might be nothing at all at this point of time right now, because like I just my SP is my only boyfriend. I never had any boyfriend before him, and I did meet someone before my SP, but he was just a jerk. And he was sort of like we were the family pushed us to date each other, and we didn't actually. Eventually we found out that we were never the right fit for each other, because he wanted different things, I wanted different things, and he didn't know how to respect a woman. So there were a lot of things. So I would not consider that even a relationship. Might be it would have been something as a relationship, but there was no love in that. So the only real connection I ever have and had in my life is with my SP, and I know for sure that he's my soulmate. So that's the thing, that when you know that this person is your soulmate, you just come to know about it. It would make you realize, and then it would make you realize also that people before him were nothing actually, because you just know that this person is your husband. So That's what my, like, my overall channel, like, I started with manifestation content, and manifestation content is like neuroscience. It's like your belief and everything. But I feel like my experience has gone from manifestation to a very soul based kind of thing. Like, I've blended manifestation with soul connects, and I've mixed both of them, though they are very interrelated and connected to each other. But also at the same point of time, I feel like some people say that manifestation is neuroscience, which is a neuroscience. You change your neural pathways of your brain by affirming, by visualizing, by doing sats, or whatever it is, whatever technique you're following, or you're scripting things. All these are manifestation techniques only. But also there is also one thing in your subconscious mind which tells you on its own, which is also known as soul in Hinduism, which actually tells you that this person is yours. So even before you came across manifestation, there was something already inside your mind which said that this is your person. And then we came across manifestation, and then we could connect that yes, what the message I'm getting from my soul is actually it's actually what I have always wanted all my life. And of course I manifested my thoughts, and that's how I met this person. But there is also, like, I feel like for me, manifestation is about prayers coming true. Manifestation is like about what you consistently think of, dominantly think of, what you keep on repeating. That's why when somebody is trying to change their inner narrative or inner story, it takes a lot of time, because they're used to their old patterns of thinking. They're used to going back to the old version of them, or the old version of the relationship. So why does it take time to change? Or you can also say that 21 days, people say 21 days, do some particular thing for 21 days and it becomes a habit. 21 days, I don't believe in actually 21 days. It took me more than 21 days to actually change myself in a way to that I became from a negative person to a positive person. Or I changed a lot of things. Like I had seen divorce cases in my life, of my mom, dad, and everything. So it took me a hell lot of thing to change myself from being like, I was always a hopeless romantic person, but I didn't know how to actually understand relationship dynamics. I didn't know how to actually be a calm person. Like, I'm not saying that I don't get angry these days. I do get angry, but I have become a much calmer person than what I used to be. And why I've become calm is because I've done the inner work. I've understood myself, I've understood my SP, I've understood why people are what they are. But I also understand that just because people wear what they wear, that doesn't mean that they cannot step up to the newer version of them, or that I cannot step up to the newer version of me, who is chosen, cherished, who is who is a wife of who she loves. So I've shifted my timelines by being like, he's my husband and I am his wife, and I am already chosen. So you are not actually asking for validation in the 3D, that okay, you first choose me and then I will feel that I'm chosen. No, I'm already chosen, and that's why, since I am chosen, that's why he chooses me. I changed my belief system to that, and that's what everybody needs to do, because you are already chosen. You are loved by God. You are the most precious person, precious child of God. Why won't you be chosen? It's your reality. So that's how the thing it is. That's why people, why do people say that, let people say whatever they want to say, you choose your life? Why? Because they might have their narrative of saying, this I'm not talking about my SP, this is about something else. So for example, if somebody wants to become a doctor and the people around are like, no, it will take you 7-8 years, let them say what they want to say. It is your reality. You choose your reality. They choose their reality. Eventually you will see that something would happen, and then they eventually realize, yes, this person was right. He or she always deserve to be a doctor. I see them as nothing but as a doctor. So that's how. You do not go and convince people, but people eventually come to that conclusion. Why? Because of your conviction. So that's what my message is. So I share a lot of my personal experience, and I try to relate it with mindset stuffs, abundance stuffs, and every kind of stuffs, because audience and viewers are of my content, I want them to feel the change. So that's the thing. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.